What is a weed and how to deal with it? We often consider our gardens back to nature places. We have our likes and our dislikes, and chief of these are probably weeds. So what is a weed? Is it simply a plant growing where we don't want it to grow? Annual weeds grow quickly, flower and broadcast a huge amount of seeds as quickly as possible and then die off, leaving the new seedlings to replace them. Perennial weeds like these grow very deep roots and are often much more difficult to remove, so they may need more than one application of weed killer. In relation to lawns, many people just simply ignore them, mow over them and carry on. But because they're not as hard wearing as grass, they soon lead to bare earth, especially in the summertime. So it's important to keep weeds at bay if we are to maintain a quality lawn. It starts with moss. Weeds can't compete with the healthy growing grass, but if the grass becomes mossy, weed seeds are especially adapted to get deep into the moss and will germinate in the water that they contain. Once the weed gets a foothold, it has a problem in growing because the grass outdrinks the weed. So most weeds have a taproot to get deeper water, which if you try to pull out, will leave a little behind in the soil and will grow again into a new weed. Once the weed is established, it will shade the grass and starve it of light. Without our help, weeds always win. There are 3 regimes available for you to treat your lawn, which are generally started in spring but can continue through any time except hot drought periods. Fertilisers should be applied in the spring, summer and autumn, and when the lawn has been under stress, say a couple of weeks following a prolonged drought. Always remember to use the exact application rate. Too little and you'll get shallow growth. Too much will scorch your grass. Refer to the instructions on the packet. Fertiliser allows grass to grow strong and maintain a good impact resistance as well as an even bold colour. If your lawn has a particular problem, is mossy or has weeds, then you can use a combination product of fertiliser and the appropriate herbicide. But if it's a moss killer on weed killer, note, weed killers don't tend to work on moss and moss killers don't tend to work on weeds. Products like this Evergreen Complete 4-in-1 thickens the lawn, has moss killer, weed killer and fertiliser, so it's ideal for a problem lawn. For moss control, these patches of moss should start to turn black after about 5 days. When this process is complete, rake out all of the moss. You can then oversow the lawn completely to thicken the growth. You should normally wait around 3 weeks to a month before oversowing. For weed control, it's important to recognise that it takes time to work, often at least a month. So once the plant is dead, it can be safely removed and any patches can then be oversown. Most selective weed killers for lawns contain hormones that are designed to kill the weed by disrupting its metabolism. In the process, the weed killer is broken down and any landing on the soil is also destroyed. It's always useful to have a supply of weed killer and to think of it as a tool in the gardener's armoury. Once you have your problem under control, good lawn maintenance, annual feeding, aeration and thatch removal along with oversowing where necessary will keep most weeds at bay.